Okay, so I was asked to do a testimony, and Pastor Isaac is getting vicious. He's like, boom, last minute, get ready. Be ready in and out of season. Okay, so I was like, what am I going to talk about? Well, for one, it's always good to talk about what the Lord is doing. And so I was praying about it, and he gave me two scriptures. So I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 18. Isaiah chapter 18, verse 5. For before the harvest, when the bud is perfect and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he will both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks and take away and cut down the branches. So that's obviously in the Old Testament. He also gave me John chapter 15, John chapter 15, verse 2. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, and it may bear more fruit. It goes on to say in verse 5, so I'm going to jump over from 2 to 5. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. So what's the Lord been doing in my life, and what has he been showing me? Well, again, my brother's death was a lot for me, and you guys know this happened in December, but it's still a little tough. And so right after my brother passed away, I lost my job. Okay, so I'm here to glorify God and what he's doing, and just to be able to trust him in those storms, in that desert. And so I was out of work for about a month and some change. So it was the weirdest interview ever. February 14th, Valentine's Day. So I'm just like, that's the love of God right there. I received this phone call, and this guy by the name of Solomon asked me to come in. Mind you, I didn't apply for the job. He just found my resume on Indeed, and we went from there. So I ended up getting hired. But again, the strangest interview, I felt like I wasn't even qualified for the position. But he says, oh, you know what, I like you. I want to create a position for you. So boom, by the following week, I'm working. So when I lost my job, I was able to get a large amount of money through my 401k. So I paid off my car. So here I'm looking now, and I'm looking back at when I first got laid off, and I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? I'm a single mom. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my rent? And so I just continued to pray and trust in the Lord that he would provide. And I got this money, and then plus, not only that, they also gave me a severance package. So it was a very nice amount of money. So I was well taken care of. And so again, I'm not saying, it's Teledyne controls the company. No, it's God. God took care of me. And so with that being said, when I paid off my car, I was just like, you know what? Well, my car's paid off. I can afford a 2-bedroom. Those of you that know Lexus, she's like the thorn on my side. And I love her to death. That's my daughter, right? That's my daughter. I love her to death, but teenagers. So she needs her own space. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go apply for this apartment. I didn't think I was going to get it. Boom, I got it. But they said I was going to get it, and I could move in April. Well, I get the job. I start working. All of a sudden, the manager calls me back, and I get this 2-bedroom. They said, we can't hold it till April. We need you to move in on March 1st. So everything is like full speed ahead. I'm like, my sister's like, wait a minute, you just lost your job and you already paid off your car payment and you're already moving into a 2-bedroom? Just that quick, just that fast. and that is only God. Only God. So it gets better. So the day before, I'm packing my stuff. My best friend calls me, and she's like, so how are you going to move this stuff? And, a bunch of us Mexicans, I'm like, I'm going to get my cousin. He got the truck, and, whatever works. And so she's like, stop. She was like, I paid this moving company to come through. She goes, just make sure everything's packed and labeled, and they can't leave until both beds are assembled in your new apartment. So I'm just like, what? I'm like, well, how much is that gonna cost? She's like, don't worry about it. I got you, girl. And I'm like, no, that's God telling me, don't worry about it. I got you. So Ephesians 3:20 goes on to say, and I was prepared. I'm sorry that I'm taking my time, but I had marked my Bible up, and then you know how that goes. Let me find Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Amen. So with that being said, trust the process. When you're going through it and you don't understand, our ways are not his ways and his ways are not our ways, but trust the process and trust that pruning, because he is exactly that. He is able to do more exceedingly and abundantly than you could ever think or ask. And I can testify to that. Like, from no job to my car is paid off and I'm in a 2-bedroom just that quick, in a month and some change. That's only God. Amen. So thank you.